Hi everyone, it's Niamh here and welcome to my art journaling channel. Today we're going to be doing a really simple background to go with a pre-drawn face that I'd already created in my journal. So you can see on the right hand side I've got a picture or a drawing of a face that is one I've actually cut out of my journal, which I don't do very often, but there wasn't anything really on the back page and I wanted to create a background for it, but it would have been really hard to do that around this image because it was actually drawn with Stabilo oil pencil. Now you can see when I'm creating this background I've got lots of wet media, I've got gel medium and I've got paint, and for those of you who've followed my journal before or this channel before, no, I'm not particularly careful in how I apply any of those. So if I had tried to do this carefully around this image, I would have smudged what I already had there, and I didn't want to do that. So that's why I cut her out of her journal. It's not something I do very often, but I also know my limitations of how neat and tidy and careful I am. So that's why I chose to do that. So as I start off a lot of my backgrounds when I'm not sure what I'm going to do, I start off with some collage. But I don't often do this second step of painting over the top of the collage with gesso. Now the reason I did that was a lot of those collage pieces I put down had sort of different tones. They were sort of all vintagey, well, possibly not the dotted wrapping paper, but it kind of tied in with the vintage text. But I wanted to take the tones of the page down to a similar. So by putting a really light coat of gesso over the top, helps tie it all together. Now I'm just going in with some stamping to fill in the gaps, to boost that black and white contrast. You can still see that text and those dots from those layers below, but it's just sort of tying it all together. And I'm using the same stamps as I've used collage in the background. So I'm using dots and I'm using text. So again, I am repeating what I've got in the background. I decided for this face I wanted to do a little bit of an ombre effect. So I'm using quite watery paint, and I'm sort of going down from a deep royal navy blue through sort of marine into a turquoisey color, and I'm using quite watery paint. So the reason for that is if I put that on straight, it would completely obliterate what I had in the background. But by having it slightly damp and watery and blend, one, it's going to help me blend it together, and two, it's going to help me do this technique, which is remove some of that color. And the reason I'm doing that is so that even though I can see that text close up and the collage from below, by removing some of that paint, it means you get to see it better. You can see I did have some drawings on it, but this that was just practicing showing people how to draw faces, sorry. So now I've attached my final paint to it, and I think from seeing how I did that background, you can understand why I probably tried not to do that over the top of a drawing that I already had there previously. So I decided that I wanted to add in a little bit of colour to her face. She did have coloured eyes, but most of it was fairly neutral, but I did add in a little bit of red Stabilo pencil to the drawing. Now I'm just sort of going around and adding bits and pieces to it. Now this is a little bit of a work in progress. And I have added a quote, which I added directly to the image that I cut out. But all that playing around with those butterflies and that little bit of text there, I am still in the process of doing this. So you will see me sort of place some things down, but I haven't actually committed to gluing any of it down. And those of you who follow me on my Instagram know I put a bit of a poll up of whether this girl would be better with or without these things. I think I did actually end up gluing the butterflies down, as I quite liked having something sort of to balance her hair. I got the inspiration from that for the lady next door. So sometimes, you know, you tend to go with something that you see. on my Instagram page and on these on the Instagram page, you kind of see these as an individual piece, but in your journal, obviously, you can see where the inspirations strike from. So I've got my little bit of Tim Holtz ideology bits and pieces, collagey bits and pieces in this little box that you can see me trawling through. And I decided I probably wanted flowers. Again, I was sort of taking some inspiration from the lady next door. She sort of got flowers all over her. I did want to go with yellow because I really love those blues and yellows playing off against each other. And, you know, with everything that's happening in the Ukraine, those colours are still quite in the back of my mind at the moment, and that's what it makes me sort of think about when I sort of see them together. But I wasn't sure if it worked with this page. So you can see me putting them on, taking them off, just putting the flowers on, putting the butterflies with the flowers, trying to work out what I liked. And you'll notice I didn't glue any of them down yet. So at this stage, as I finished this, that's where the page was sitting. Then I closed my book, and then I thought, do I really want those there? I think I ended up gluing down the butterflies in the final image, but I didn't put the flowers down. So let me know your thoughts, whether I should put something, maybe not those flowers, but something down on her shoulder, or if I should just leave it as is. I'm really looking forward to hearing your input in the comments below. Thanks so much for watching. Until next time, bye for now.